Hey there, it's not a Tuesday, but it's another in real life video. This time, we are doing a little watch-along. We've done, I think, at least one before for the Fallout first sort of Fallout TV show trailer watch-along. We watched that and sort of talked over it. Similar situation here, probably far less pausing, a lot longer. We will be looking through the new Xbox Direct, mostly because I am incredibly interested in Avowed, which we know is going to be there. This has already come out. You've probably already seen all of the news, but this will be my first time seeing it, besides what other little bits I've sort of seen posted on social media that have kind of gotten to me. Like, for example, I know Indiana Jones is first person. I know that, but that kind of makes sense to me. It's from Machine Games that 100% tracks. Why wouldn't it be? But otherwise, we're going in completely unawares of most other things. This is, like I said, it's just going to be a watch-along for those interested. Let's load it up. We'll do a little cut here, as per usual. All right, we are back with our little picture-in-picture mode. If you see glare on my glasses or whatever, apologies. That's just sort of the situation, you know, giant monitor blasting whatever at me. We'll see how it goes, right? Also, it's really cold out. Just in case you didn't notice, I'm like super bundled up. It's very snowy and cold out today. It's a heck of a time. But we've got Developer Direct 2024. This is their official thing, and this is what they've named it. So let's get in there. Let's see. Let me make sure we got audio coming through as well. There is no sound yet. We're just getting a whole bunch of warnings. Oh, here we go. This seems good. This seems fine. Okay. Yeah, the big things I'm looking forward to here are Avowed and the Indiana Jones game. I'm sure there'll be some other little things going on. I think the new Hellblade, Senua's something, is here. But I never played the first one. Maybe this is too loud. Here, maybe I'll turn this down a bit. It could well be. There we are. Do you think this is like in response to relatively recent criticisms in the games industry, like people being more and more awares of the working conditions for people making the games that they play? Why they're so much more keen on, look, we don't have problems here, right? Yeah, good luck when you get ABK fully involved. Oh, we're doing Obsidian first. Yo, okay. Okay, yeah, Avowed. Hell yeah. Oh, they know what to show. I'm massively into Pillars of Eternity, which is why I'm so...
Welcome to Obsidian Entertainment. I'm so proud to share with you our upcoming fantasy
I'm so excited for Avowed.
RPG, Avowed.
Okay, let's turn you up.
Avowed is an adventure into the heart of the living lands, a frontier at the edge of the known world, where you must put a stop to a mysterious spiritual plague and discover a secret at the heart of the living lands.
Right.
At Obsidian, we love creating worlds with deep themes, dynamic gameplay, and thoughtful reactivity. And Avowed is no different.
Okay, okay.
We set out to blend the believable and fantastical, to give players a world
Is this from the soundtrack?
like no other. It's colorful, it's vibrant, it's strange. It's one of the most incredible settings in the world of Aora. There's going to be a lot of great secrets to discover, one of which has a really personal connection to you as the player character, and you're going to have a great time getting to know those secrets and leaving your mark on the world. And when it comes to encounters, our combat brings the best of the moment.
All right, they got the
fun
Lagu
that
Foth.
comes with action-oriented gameplay and the depth and breadth of choice
Sure.
that you get with an RPG. Here's
Oh, they
to
got
learn more about
guns!
Avowed's
Guns
combat
confirmed
and
back!
Gabriel Paramo, gameplay director.
Here at Obsidian, our team's overarching goal is to empower you with choice. So we developed a flexible combat system that allows you to quickly swap from spellcasting and sharpshooting to melee.
Which, mind you, I don't fully know. I mean, I'm sure it's going to be enjoyable to some degree. But the important distinction between Avowed and Pillars of Eternity 1 and 2 is that, of course, Pillars 1 and 2 were directed by Josh Sawyer of New Vegas fame, of Pentiment recently, right? A whole bunch of stuff going further back to more CRPGs, right? There is that lineage there that doesn't exist here, right? Avowed by a different team, probably some overlap of other creative aspects of the game, right? I would have to imagine. I'm pretty sure Carrie Patel we just saw her speaking. I'm pretty sure she was also involved in Deadfire, at least. But although it's in the same setting, it's about, of course, a different cast of characters, and it's from a different creative director, right? I remember this being kind of a big, weird point of contention, sort of with, what was it, Outer Worlds going forward? There was a whole bunch of comparisons between Outer Worlds and New Vegas, which, to be fair, they kind of asked for it, because they did put from the creators of New Vegas up there. But it wasn't entirely. It was more so, yeah, Obsidian was mostly in part responsible for New Vegas, and thus is also behind this. But your creative director and a lot of the folks writing for you and people on the team, completely different, right? There, a lot of people who misunderstood that, I feel like we're sort of at a middle ground of understanding who makes games, right? Like there's all right, so like the three stages of Obsidian and New Vegas involvement, I feel, is stage one, you think that Fallout New Vegas was made by Bethesda, by BGS, right? That's stage one. Stage two is you realize, oh, this was actually mostly made by Obsidian, not by Bethesda Game Studios. That's why it's so much different and feels so much closer to an Obsidian game. Stage three is knowing that New Vegas was directed by Josh Sawyer, and knowing like a few of the folks on the writing team, and as well on other parts of design and whatnot, and how they banged it out in such a short time frame, knowing that that was a Josh Sawyer-led project, and then knowing that Outer Worlds, although at Obsidian, what involved the original creators of Fallout Classic, right? Not the entire same original team, mind you, but like Tim Kaine and Leonard Boyarsky were involved and were like sort of leading things rather than Josh Sawyer, right? That's sort of the third stage of having a certain wherewithal about who is making the games that you're playing, right? And I feel like the same should be applied here. That said, I don't know, Pillars of Eternity, fairly relatively unknown, as much as I love those games in the world and whatnot, and I'm looking forward to this. Relatively obscured compared to New Vegas, I would say. Anyway, let's continue.
Combat. We want to give you the freedom to mix and match your loadout to fit the way you want to play from moment to moment, uninterrupted. For all battles, you can combine a variety of weapons, attacks, and abilities for tactical advantages against a wide range of enemies.
They've got like the full slew of Pillars weapons.
It's not just hacking and slashing. You're making real-time decisions about when to use your abilities, powerful melee attacks, blocks, parries, and special attacks.
It really looks like you're a
If you choose
Cypher,
to approach combat
right?
with a one-handed wand, it feels quick and snappy when dealing damage to enemies at mid-range. Using the Tanglefoot ability, you can stop enemies in their tracks, giving you the opportunity to focus on weaker or tougher combatants in an intentional and controlled manner.
And we'd seen that
It's important to pay
Almala
attention
follower
to the
before
types of
too.
enemies you're dealing with. Some units are extremely defensive, some are brutally difficult, and others you must make sure you prioritize, or their healing capabilities will put you in a tough spot. To help with the different encounters you will face, we provide customizable
Oh,
loadouts.
yo, you can dual wield the wands. Can you dual wield the like flintlock pistols? Right? Oh my god. That was such a defining part, I feel, of Pillars of Eternity, was sort of being able to use the black powder firearms, right? It was like instead of sword and sorcery, I think people would describe it as like flintlock and sorcery or something like that. It was so cool, and the versatility of weapons for different characters and character builds was like, it was incredible. It was through the roof. It was bar none. It was so good. Definitely give a look into Pillars of Eternity. Holy crap. Absolutely love it. I keep wanting to replay it, but they're so enormous and long that it's quite the feat to go through with it. Also, I want to say the game looks so much better than the first teaser trailer that we had seen. I feel like it looks leaps and bounds ahead of the brief little trailer that we were given last year, I think it was. Not the one that was like all full rendered CGI or whatever, right? That was like a pre-done cinematic. But the one that showed little clips of gameplay where they showed that Al Mauen follower, right? For those not in the know, the like teal-colored dude that we just saw earlier. Very interesting. Also, I'm super interested if Orleans will be in this. Big fan of Orleans and their whole like positioning in society. I'm super curious about that. I'm assuming as well you can only be human, right? We'll see.
That can be quickly switched during combat. That means you can play however you want. Equip a sword and shield and charge into battle. Dual-wield pistols and control the encounter mid-range.
Yes!
Or even dual-wield wands to feel like a gunslinging mage. You could use your enchant.
Another thing that I wonder about with the pistols, right? Because they intentionally in Pillars of Eternity, because they are black powder weapons, all of the firearms in there had immensely slow recovery times. Like, it took forever to reload it. You had to put the plunger down and everything inside of the pistols, the arquebus, the blunderbuss. All that took for fucking ever, which encouraged you to use those on classes that could reduce those times, right? That had passives or like spells or buffs or whatever that could reduce the time for that. Or you could have a character class where you had dual pistols or whatever. This is what I did in Deadfire, in fact. But you could have like 3 or 4 different sets of those pistols. So it'd be like, you know, you'd have like a brace of pistols. You pull out the first 2, fire them off, don't reload them, swap to the next 2, fire off the other 2, right? And just keep going through that. And of course, you would have a monstrous reload time, but it would be a pretty incredible alpha strike to get rid of a bunch of dudes from hammering down your party and whatnot. You could just quickly even the odds, as it were, and sort of mitigate damage by way of doing that. Super interested in how they're going to handle that, because otherwise it would be super unsatisfying, I feel, in a more first-person, like, action RPG setting, you know? All right.
Wand to freeze enemies, and then use your offhand weapon's power attack to shatter them. We've worked hard to keep you constantly engaged as battles unfold by creating a balance between pressure and manageability during combat.
Players will have ample choices for how to build and progress their envoy in the world of the living lands as they get to know the game and the story and explore the many diverse regions. Some quests in Avowed will have you make difficult decisions with profound consequences. Like this side quest you may encounter in Shatterscarp, the 3rd region you'll explore on your journey through the living lands.
Right.
As you're exploring, you come across the bodies of these fallen soldiers. And as you explore the remains of the battle, it's up to you to determine who, if anyone, is at fault.
Just the 4 of us. Manu, Kiri, Naoki, and me. Training under Captain Ruiki. Trying to keep Thirdborn safe.
In other words, you're a gang of vigilantes. Not that I'm one to judge.
Here. Take my badge. Take everyone's. Our families deserve to know we fought and died for them.
Making the right choice isn't always what it seems. We embrace moral nuance and gray areas, trusting players to make tough decisions in complicated situations.
My squad and I rested in the cave by the water last night, and as we were sleeping, we were ambushed by those miserable Zorips.
Oh, Zorips. Those were Zorips. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
I just got separated.
Shit, I thought they were Lagufath.
Look, I can't face those monsters alone, but I have to know if anyone else made it out. Of course he did. Sergeant Asui never has a thought he won't say out loud. So what did he tell you? That Captain Ruiki was sick? That I was paranoid? That I was a dumb baby?
You were a dumb baby.
And loud. If you found
Okay.
Sergeant Asui, why is he not here with you? What happened?
At the end of the quest, you have a choice.
Ooh, okay. I do like how it seems like they're sort of taking a lot of cool shit from the CRPGs right? With regards to this, already we can see right there the sort of purple arrow. I have to assume there'll be more of that sort of reactivity based on your like character's build and background and all that. I have to assume. But also the way in which you can approach combat and the way in which it sort of opens up and is variable, and the way in which tactics are a little bit more necessary, similar to the CRPGs and whatnot. I'm super into it. I guess also if you're, this is all good information if you're unfamiliar with Pillars of Eternity, which a lot of people are. Also, one of the important things is sort of the way in which cultures are defined in Pillars of Eternity, or in Aora, I guess I should say, the world itself, Aora. It's handled incredibly well. I think it still stands up as one of the best ways in which, like one of the best examples of world building I can think of in a role-playing game, or a fantasy role-playing game, right? Because since then, Disco Elysium came out and really was buck wild, right? But Disco Elysium does sort of, in many ways, mirror, and it's like a mock-up of the real world. Although it does have really, really cool stuff. There's, I feel like Pillars still did really well in a fantasy setting. And even so, Pillars had more room to sort of explore different cultures and stuff. But needless to say, yeah, what I'm getting at is Pillars of Eternity in Aora did really, really well with handling, like, different cultures inside of that world and not having it to where, and this is like such a trope that fantasy often lands upon, unfortunately, is, like, for example, in Elder Scrolls, right? We're a huge Elder Scrolls channel, love the games, right? But they have their faults. In Elder Scrolls, it's very typical. Imagine you run into a Khajiit, right? Pretty much every time you run into a Khajiiti character, you expect them to be a certain way, right? The archetype is they are Khajiiti, right? They will probably have some sort of proclivity toward something or the other, right? Like, maybe they love drugs, they love stealing, right? There's always like a few places where Khajiit come in and they do certain things within that world, right? Less so is it defined by, these are, this is a Khajiit that you've met from Morrowind, who is inherently distinct from a Khajiit that you would meet who is from Cyrodiil or from Skyrim, right? Same goes for, like, a Nord who is from Skyrim versus a Nord from Cyrodiil versus a Nord from Morrowind. You very rarely see that. More so, they fall back into their archetypes, which isn't to say that they don't ever do that, right? But it's incredibly rare. In Pillars of Eternity, in Aora, that is not the standard. More so, characters are, in some ways, defined by their race and whatnot. Like, in this case, this person is Almauen. But you could have there are many different subcultures of Almaua within the world, wherein, like, if you are an Almaua who is, like, with Rauatai, with the Navy or whatever, they will have a very, like, in Deadfire, for example, right? There's the, what were they called? The RNV or something? The Rauataian Royal Navy, the RRV? Or RRN? Something like that. But they were a militarized group that came to Deadfire, the area of Deadfire, and a lot of them were Almauen. But also, Deadfire predominantly occupied by the indigenous Almauans, right? Who had very different ways of speaking, carrying themselves about, right? They were more so defined by where they were born and where they came from in the world, right? Sort of like you would see in the real world, you know? If a human being is from one place versus another, they will typically act and behave in a certain cadence relative to another location, right? I feel like Pillars of Eternity absolutely nailed that at every corner, but still at the same time didn't make it to where, like, your race was irrelevant, right? Because Orlans were famously, in Aora, and still are, super duper enslaved, right? Super duper subjugated to tons of bullshit. And although if you were an Orlan from a place that widely practiced slavery versus one that really didn't, you would still be subjected by other folks being like, oh yeah, you're a fucking Orlan, right? Regardless of where you were from. So it did still come into account. It was just such a very well done and nuanced way of doing it, and I hope that they continue it here, and it looks like they are. It looks like that they are 100% going to do it. But it was absolutely one of my favorite, most pleasant surprises about the way in which Aora and Pillars of Eternity sort of handled that whole situation, because so many fantasy games don't do that. Anyway, let's continue.
When you confront Private Naoki, if you believe the story he's told you, you can hand over the badges and let him go back home.
You're right. Real battle isn't something you can prepare for, is it? It's not my fault. No, they should have never have camped in the cave. I'll take the badges. I'm going back to Thirdborn.
But if you confront him, if you believe that he fled the site of the battle as an act of cowardice, then he might challenge you to a fight to reclaim his honor. Either way, when you return to town, you'll see the consequences of your actions and the choices you made during this quest. Creating an immersive experience like
I do
Avowed
love that
is
she's on the
anchored in
team.
world
She's
we
very
built.
good.
Art director
I
Matt
think.
Hansen and the team have worked to create a unique, colorful,
Like on
and
the writing
dynamic
team, I
visual
should say.
style.
From the outset, we knew that we wanted Avowed setting to feel rich, weird, and wonderful. We found inspiration in a wide swath of real-world cultures, helping us create a unique RPG experience.
Yes!
Contrasting the vibrant with the dull, or verdant spaces with sickly ones, we can better deliver complex emotional experiences.
Oh my god!
The Living Lands is a continent of untamed valleys with widely varied biomes, from luxuriant forests to volcanic wastes. And each of those regions itself is a conflux of storied landscapes. All of the regions have a lot of special things associated with them, but I have a deep place in my heart for Shatterscarp. As you're wandering the wastes of Shatterscarp, you might notice off in the distance a vibrant jewel of color. By transitioning
This looks
from
fucking
destitute,
awesome! Oh my god!
muted tones of a wasteland of sand and marching in towards a beautiful oasis, there's the opportunity there for life, for adventure, and even a little danger.
Oh my gosh,
We
those
hope you've
giant
enjoyed
heads.
this look at Avowed.
Oh my
We're
gosh.
thrilled to share more about the game in the coming months, and we can't
Do you think they're
wait
gonna have
for
a
you to
dragon in
explore
there?
the Living Lands when Avowed launches this fall.
Man, look at what class can you be? Did you see that green magic? Maybe you can multi-class. Huh. Yeah, I've seen this. Looks fucking dope. God, it looks so good. Fall 2024. It looks so much better than I was like expecting, right? Based on the first trailer, I was sort of bracing for impact a little bit. I was like, it might not be quite what I was hoping for, right? But I am glad to still see Aora again. But holy shit, that looked fantastic. That looked dope as shit. Oh, Ninja Theory here. Like we said, Hellblade, Senua something or other. I think this one is Sacrifice. Which these games are super duper acclaimed and very well regarded.
Hi, I'm Don Matthews, studio head here at Ninja Theory in Cambridge, UK. We're now in the final months of development on Senua Saga Hellblade 2, and the team is working hard to bring you an unforgettable journey into Senua's unique world and her battle for survival, where we have once again combined high fidelity and immersive presentation with a shorter, narrative-led experience that focuses on the things that we really care about, and that we hope you care about too.
Do we think every game shown here is this year? I would
Senua
kind of
is back
assume
with a
so.
new quest. She wants to stop the Vikings who raided her village right at their source, in Iceland. But not just her quest has changed. Senua herself has grown since the first Hellblade. She's made peace with her past and is no longer in such fear of her visions and voices. While the Furies are still her constant companions, she encounters new people along the way, some of which will value her unique perspective, and others who will reject it.
Little by little, this settlement became my tribe.
In the game, Senua arrives in 10th century Iceland on the trail of the Vikings who have been enslaving her people. In the story, we're trying to be as faithful to history as we can up to a point, establishing a solid framework and then building more surreal elements on top. Senua will face up to giants who have plunged the land into chaos, and which in turn has seen the rise of the Droiga, a violent threat that has swept through the settlements that she'll discover. Senua will make new enemies and also new allies who will come to see her unique perspective as a beacon of hope. And she'll discover, along with us, how this viewpoint can have its advantages.
Senua is a Celtic warrior who
What the fuck?
experiences psychosis. Seeing things that other
Oh,
people
right,
don't,
yeah.
hearing voices, and having unique beliefs about the world around her. To bring Senua's perspective
Yeah,
of
I
the world to
remember-
life in a truthful way, we have once again worked closely with Professor Paul Fletcher at the University of
Right.
Cambridge, as well as people with lived experience of psychosis.
Yeah, they were supposed to have... I remember hearing so much about the first game and how well they handled it.
Beautiful and hostile environments, seeking answers from patterns and signs that Senua sees in her own unique way, and battling through encounters with enemies that will push Senua to her limits.
On Saga,
Yeah, it's supposed to be
we've taken
incredibly
everything
dark
to the
and,
next
and
level.
depressing and sad.
With a new motion capture space, a bigger stage team, a stunt crew, and a new cast.
We spent a lot of time planning the motion capture shoots, thinking of what events would be good to bring into this fight. Like, how can we make this fight feel different from the previous fight? We have
It was
all new
her.
combat
She was the
systems.
mocap actor from the start.
One of our key goals was the ability to actually tell a story throughout it. It does feel very different from the first game, but it's very brutal and you're very invested in it. Senua isn't a superhero. She's fighting for survival, and we want the player to feel her struggle in every step of her journey. We want the player to always feel like they just scraped through, just survived it.
Mel knows Senua better than anyone, better than I do. Her instincts are amazing, and she really doesn't need much help from me. On stage, our main focus is storytelling. So I get to watch the actors and see all the beautiful expressions on their faces. And then I have to wait a little while, and then I get to see that all again, in-game, in costume, on location, everything. It's a great experience, a great process.
Every discipline in the studio is unified in achieving a deep level of immersion to help suspend your disbelief and pull you into Senua's story. We were lucky enough to do a few reference gathering trips in
God, I almost
Iceland.
thought that was in game.
Have
This
to
says
be
at the
there.
top right,
Sense
Iceland
of
reference
scale,
footage. You can't see it because my
everything's
picture
incredible.
is covering it.
And you see a scene or you see a small section of the game and you're like, yeah, that works, that's amazing.
Which it does look really good, but not quite that good.
Senua experiences reality differently, and a part of this manifests in the voices she hears.
She will collapse. She will collapse.
These voices come to life through binaural audio, which provides a good representation of this type of auditory hallucinations. As we focus in immersion, binaural audio is perfect for this because through headphones, you surround yourself in a three-dimensional space. In the first game, we only applied to the voices that Senua listens in her head. In this game, through a spatial audio technology and some extra little things within the game, there is music that is binaural. Every single sound has the potential to be binaural, so everything is spatialized around you, and it's a very beautiful experience.
What will they do to her? What will we do to us?
Music is a strange language in the sense that it speaks to our emotions fast and deep. It's not only about quality, it's about personality. So when you listen to Hellblade, you know it's Hellblade. On the music, we are working with Hylung, which for me is a personal privilege because I really admire them. we feel.
Oh, right,
the
this was at the Game Awards.
Their depth, their meaning in the music, it really connects with our game and elevates it to something really special. We are also working with a heavy metal singer, throat singers, and our very own purists. They sing so beautiful, and we add that binaural touch of music. So this all creates a very immersive and a very special and unique experience.
Our mission here at Ninja Theory is to craft life-changing art with game-changing tech. And that's our aim in Senua Saga Hellblade 2, is to not only see where Senua goes next, but to deliver something really meaningful for our players.
My hope is that they will really connect to Senua as a character, and even if they can't really relate to what she's going through, maybe they know someone that relates to that character and they can then understand that person better.
Well, I don't want to sound cheesy, but in a way I'm Senua, right? She exists and doesn't. It exists through all of our work, through every ninja. So
through every ninja? Is that what they call each other at their Ninja Theory?
It grows and grows and grows and grows and keep growing and keep changing. So that makes it real.
I'm so proud of the love, care, and passion our team here at Ninja Theory are putting into Senua Saga Hellblade 2. Our hope is to not only create a game that is great to play, but to craft an experience that leaves you thinking and feeling. From our combat gameplay through to our action set pieces, from our cinematic scenes to our puzzle solving, everything is crafted in service of Senua's journey, a journey that you can embark on May 21st.
Yeah, I'm thinking all these will be this year, and it'll be like later in the summer, whenever they do their like faux E3, like spring or summer, late spring, sometime summer, I don't know. That'll probably be stuff that can stretch beyond this year. I forgot what they called it last year for their fake E3. Oh my gosh, what's this? Whoa! Oh, did you see that? It said Square Enix. Oh, what? Oh, wow! Is this the new Secret of Mana situation? Look, there's a little guy. Okay. I don't know who does Secret of Mana or Secret of games.
Greetings, Xbox players. My name is Masaru Oyamada, producer for the Mana series.
Yeah, okay.
Here at Square Enix.
Look, sometimes I know my shit.
聖剣伝説 Visions of Mana の情報を Xbox ユーザーの皆さんにいち早くお伝えできる機会をいただけて大変光栄です。コンソールゲームとしては約17年ぶりとなる聖剣伝説シリーズの完全新作。聖剣伝説シリーズは1991年にファイナルファンタジー
Yeah, I've
外伝
never
として誕生して以
played
降
any
マ
of
ナ
them.
と聖剣をめぐって描かれる愛をテーマに個性豊かなキャラクターたち、心に響く楽曲の数々、武器の特性を生かして戦うアクション RPG としてこれまでに17作発売され長らく愛されてきました。
It makes sense, though, that it's here. I know Xbox had been positioning itself to want to have a larger foothold in, like, Japanese games markets. Right, so, like, whether or not this is a big hit here, they're happy to sort of show it off. In the event that, like, it pops off in, like, other marketplaces besides, like, Europe and North America.
聖剣伝説の生みの親である石井浩一さんと共に聖剣伝説 Visions of Mana の内容を紹介していきたいと思います。
Hello, I am Koichi Ishii from Grabs.
Oh my god, look at this guy's fucking outfit. All right.
Newest game in the Mana series to Xbox players. 初期の頃から
Damn, dude is on some Devil May Cry shit. Okay.
私が考案したものですが、中には小学生の頃すでにイメージができていたものもあります。今作では初めはドット絵からスタートしたモンスターたちをどのような形で最新化して聖剣伝説 Visions of Mana に落とし込むか、デザインの方向性からモデルの完成イメージまでを監修する立場でプロジェクトに参加しました。
Wow, you get to kill all these cute little
聖
dudes.
剣伝
Okay.
説ファイナルファンタジー外伝を作っていた頃から、自分の頭の中ではモンスターたちは立体的に生き生きと動いて、これまで自分が携わった作品ではそれらをどうやって当時の技術で表現できるかにこだわって作ってきました。最新作では聖剣伝説のモンスターたちのただ可愛いだけではなく恐ろしさの部分もしっかりと表現できているので、バトル中はモンスターたちの表情にも
Dude, it's talking about they're not just cute, they can be frightening. And it's the little guys jumping around there, just heads and ears, going like, yeah, I'm terrified.
今作には広大なフィールド探検に欠かせない新たな仲間が登場
Oh, shit.
陸上を猛スピードで駆け回ってくれるピックルも石井さんが新たに考案してくださっています。
Wow.
新たな仲間を考えるにあたって
Shout outs to all the furries. I know y'all love
可
that.
愛い動物にして漠然とした思いがありました。その上でヨークシャテリアの毛並み、見た目やアルマジルによく似た仙山港や古代エジプト神のアヌビスの子供といった具体的なイメージが浮かんできて、
Yorkshire Terrier crossed with an armadillo-like pangolin? Okay.
デザイナーにもアイデアを出してもらいながら、足の長さや丸まった時のイメージなどゲームの中での見え方も考えながら
Wow.
調整を重ねていき、
It is very
ピック
cute.
ルは誕生しました。
It sure does pop a lot too in the environment.
楽曲面です。過去さまざまなコンポーザーが携わられた楽曲の雰囲気が感じられつつも、最新作として素晴らしい新たな楽曲が生まれました。 BGM でもしっかり聖剣伝説シリーズらしさを感じてもらえると思います。過去シリーズの楽曲を手掛けたクリエイターたちが全100曲という大ボリュームの制作に挑んでくれました。新たな試みとしてフィールドの探索からバトルまでをシームレスに体験できるよう、今作ではインタラクティブミュージックを導入しており、
Is this game actually Xbox exclusive? I don't know.
探索中の BGM がバトルに入った瞬間、アレンジが切り替わる様を実際に聞いてみましょう。
Or if Xbox is just like heavily involved in the production and promotion of it. I can't remember. They've said before, but I do not remember.
今作はアクション RPG 聖剣伝説のアクション部分が強化されています。空中でのアクションがバトルの鍵となっており、武器での攻撃だけでなく魔法での攻撃も可能になっています。そして本作ならではの特徴として、聖剣伝説シリーズではおなじみの精霊たちがいますが、その力を宿した武器を使うとバトルを手助けしてくれるようになります。精霊によっては様々な特性の違いがありますので、その効果とともに聖剣伝説の世界らしい不思議な力で爽快なバトルを楽しんでいただけます。
オリジナルモンスターやピックルにも注目してほしいのですが、聖剣伝説ビジョンズ・オブ・マナーは
Dude, this guy loves the Pickles.
感じてもらえる作品になるよう、小山田君を中心にチームのみんなが頑張って作ってくれていますので、ぜひ発売日を楽しみに待っていてください。
Look at him putting that shit on, though, for real. He's even got the little necklace chain situation. Okay.
初めて Xbox ユーザーの皆さんにお届けする本作、聖剣伝説ビジョンズ・オブ・マナは今後も様々な情報をお届けしていきますので、ぜひご期待ください。この夏、この忘れられない冒険を Xbox ユーザーの皆さんに楽しんでいただける日が今から待ちきれません。
Okay. It looks alright, yeah. Available on Xbox. Well, maybe that doesn't imply exclusivity. They just don't want to say PS4. I'm guessing they're saving machine games for last. I have no idea what this is. Oh, is this like a Civilization-like?
Hello, and welcome to Oxide Games. We founded the studio in 2013 with our decades of personal experience building some of the most beloved strategy games of all time, like Civilization V. We came together to create something new and innovative in a genre we all love. Ara History Untold is the game we've dreamt of making.
Ara is an homage to historical gamers, strategy gamers, 4X gamers. It features all the depth and gameplay fans of this genre love, where you'll explore the world, expand your nation, govern your people, and engage with your rivals on the international stage. But it isn't just more of the same. With Ara, we wanted to challenge some of the preconceived notions about the genre, push it forward in a modern, empowering...
Aren't we also due for a proper, like, full-line Civilization game soon? Isn't that, like, coming up this year or next year?
Are all things that we purchased in order to
It's been a
add
bit.
to the soundtrack and expand the game and make it really good. Hi, Dan. That's Dan. We started in his basement. It's been an amazing process to see from concept to completion. We started small, building a robust game.
See, like I
engine,
said, I almost
questioning our
wonder if
design
this part of this is like a
assumptions,
PR
and
thing,
features,
right?
Rediscovering what made us fall in love with strategy games in the first place.
The end result
Like, I kind of like it,
the
right?
historical grand
Like, it
strategy
only
game
becomes
presents
fucked
a
up if
living
there's a
world
story
where you can
outing
rule how you
these
want to rule,
companies and
and
stuff where it's
chart
like,
your
yeah,
own path to
actually,
becoming the most
don't
prestigious
believe
nation
all
on
the
planet.
cutesy stuff that we had of us all being happy and shit working here. It's fucking hell, right?
And give players the power to experiment and make meaningful strategic choices while still having agency over their playstyle.
We also wanted to explore more in different parts of history and give players from around the world the chance to see the game reflect their unique perspective and not just ours.
And finally, we knew that for players to feel the impact of their decisions, they would need to see their choices reflected in the game world itself, not just through numbers on a menu. One of the first differences you'll see when you dive into Ara is what we call the living world. It's a procedurally generated alternate Earth, bursting with life, an intuitive, authentic, and immersive space, a blank canvas for players to paint the society of their dreams.
The living world isn't just a map. It reflects the choices players make over the course of the game. They can see everything from the settling of the wilderness to cultural influence on architecture over time to the thousands of citizens living their lives and reacting to the changes. We want players to feel like they're truly occupying
It
the
looks
world,
pretty good.
leading their people as
I
they
haven't
thrive
played a
and grow.
4X game in a hot
Part of the
minute.
vision of
It's gotta
Ara
be
is our
said.
philosophy of rule how you want to rule. And no feature better exemplifies this than the prestige system.
To win a game of Ara, players will compete with their rivals to build the most influential, impressive, and important nation the world has ever known. This is measured by prestige, the player's score that proves their worth as a leader.
The prestige system gives players the chance to decide what kind of leader they want to be. Do they want to pursue great works of arts and culture? Military might? Scientific advancement? The choice
Oh,
is
hold
theirs.
up. What?
Okay,
Okay, yeah.
Decide what is
The
most
mecha
important to them
upgrades.
and focus and prioritize on those goals while still being able to win the game.
Personally, when I play Ara, I like to build triumphs.
Sure.
Triumphs are our collection of incredible monuments and architectural achievements from throughout human history. Like the Great Pyramid of Giza. They're hard to build, but worth it, giving huge prestige bonuses and game-changing abilities to the nation that constructs them.
Another aspect of Ara that I'm personally excited about is our crafting system.
The crafting system offers a unique challenge to the player that they generally won't see often in the 4X genre. Succeeding at balancing, gathering the right things, turning them into the tools that you need, and then finally getting to the outcome or reward of something like an important improvement or triumph just changes the challenge that exists in Ara compared to other 4X games.
Crafting plays out in Ara at a national scale, with players honing and combining the natural resources they harvest into all manner of goods and components. Those are the foundation for everything, from international trade to improving their cities' and citizens' lives, and even manufacturing the weapons necessary to draft military units. The crafting system in Ara encourages thoughtful, advanced planning. It rewards players who can see the strategic outcome of all their collective decisions, and not just the individual ones.
I'm proud of the work that's gone into our simultaneous turn system. Many strategy games have players alternate taking turns and reacting to their opponent's moves.
Yeah, and it takes
In
for
Ara,
fucking
all
ever.
players' actions are resolved at the same time. This rewards players' ability to navigate uncertainty, to predict and strategically plan for a variety of scenarios in the moment, This system makes Aura just feel more real.
And if you've played a multiplayer game of Civ with other real people, you will know that shit will take for fucking ever because of the turn system. Holy shit.
Where you're not doing anything.
Yeah, it sucks ass.
Sifting through all of history and picking what to include. For Aura, we wanted to offer a fresh perspective, so we looked at cultures and societies throughout the millennia with the broadest lens possible.
Where this approach really shines is in our leaders. Leaders are so often seen as military personnel or prominent government figures, but leaders come in so many different forms. They're thought leaders, scientific and cultural prodigies, and many more.
Each leader in Aura has a number of special abilities determined by their personality traits, as well as a powerful and unique leader trait, informed by their contributions to world history.
With a diverse global roster, we know players will find leaders that they will want to play. And even a few that may surprise them with how fun it is when those leaders are handed the reins of power.
For us at Oxide, player feedback is the only
Like, I do
way
think
to
it's
really
great
understand
that they got this whole situation going on here at Oxide. Because last I heard, Firaxis hadn't been doing too hot, right? I don't know about their division that handles Civ.
One of my favorite examples is when we first introduced the concept of dangerous wildlife.
But certainly with Midnight Suns, they lost a few folks after that.
Or disruptive. We knew we should probably
The
make a
XCOM
change when
team.
one of our insiders made a forum post that was just
Cougars, cougars,
cougars, I hate cougars!
Someone get these feline demons away from me. I'm happy to report, based on more recent feedback.
Oh my god, look at the little person running around.
Overall threat level of mountain lions to a player's citizenry.
It's been years of hard work to bring you a strategy experience like no other. And we're so excited that we can finally see the finish line. We can't wait for players to get their hands on the game later this year.
But the launch of Aura is only the beginning. We are going to maintain our insider program after the release date and continue to listen to players and support the game into the future.
On behalf of everyone at Oxide Games, thank you for joining us today. We can't wait for you to play Aura and to create your own history.
Okay, yeah. Wow, they're not even trying a console version, at least not for now. I guess if it does well enough on PC, they'll hit up the console version. Okay. Are we gonna have another secret one? No, I think this is it. What's our runtime? Yeah, this could all be Indiana Jones. Let's crank this up a bit. Machine Games of Wolfenstein fame.
Hej och välkommen till Uppsala, Sverige, här hos Machine Games. We are really excited to finally be able to share our work on Indiana Jones. Since the first film came out, Indiana Jones has always represented the ultimate adventure. Even today, it's one of the most iconic franchises in pop culture. In this game, you aren't.
They didn't show. They're just those three. Just those three.
Jones.
Gotcha.
You will see
Okay.
through his eyes and experience
Just so we
the
know where
journey
we're
that we
standing.
hope lives up to the proud legacy of Indiana Jones. When Todd Howard first told us about his vision for the game, we knew we would be
Right,
very
he
good
is
fit to
involved
help
in some
bring it to
fashion.
life.
I've wanted to make an Indiana Jones game forever. I
Just
had this
executive
idea
producer, so
for what it would be like,
broader
and the
strokes.
story, what Indy was going after, what period of his life it was in, what kind of arc he was going to have. And as the years went on, I thought, who would be like the best studio in the world to make this? And it was my friends at Machine Games. I can remember pitching Lucasfilm on the game and being, a little bit nervous because, look, it's, Indiana Jones, and their response was just overwhelmingly positive, and just that excitement has bled through the whole project, and they have just been so trusting and supportive of everything that we want to do with the game.
Yeah, my understanding
It's
is
been a
that
long time. I've been
he's
a fan
super
of this
into
my
Indiana
whole
Jones.
life, and I couldn't be more excited to show you what the team here has been up to. Let's take our first look at the new Indiana Jones game.
So it was Todd who pitched it for Machine Games and got it for him?
Let me tell you what you are missing, Dr. Jones. While you were playing your pointless game, I was playing you. You're wondering if maybe you should have built yourself a life of meaning instead of ending up here dead and forgotten in the sands of Africa.
There have been some really good Indiana Jones games in the past. Whether they be like point-and-click adventures or like third-person action games.
History. Just different ways to interpret the past. Thousands of years of humanity's thoughts and beliefs.
Oh my god.
Scattered and buried.
I believe this is Troy Baker, and holy shit, he sounds... He sounds just like...
To be found.
Like fucking Harrison Ford back in the day. What the fuck?
Just run away from your problems, Indiana.
Watch me.
Right.
Throughout history, mankind has built sites of great spiritual significance. If you were to draw a line through these ancient sites around the globe, you get a perfectly aligned circle.
Starfield tie-in. Right, it's called the Great Circle, isn't it? What the fuck?
I've had run-ins with these guys before. Trust me, it ain't a walk in the park.
Okay, then. Let's see if you can keep up.
What do you mean if I could keep up? Patron of the fallen angels. Protector of the Chirkulimani. The Great Circle. You have any idea how old that was?
Man, that's a very, very convincing Harrison Ford. Holy shit.
Indiana Jones is such an iconic character, and he means so much to so many people. Everyone here at the studio has their own indie stories and memories. Most of us grew up with his adventures and have been fans of the movies and the character for years. He's a brilliant archaeologist, he's a charismatic everyman, he's passionate and determined. And for us, he's synonymous with adventure.
Now we have the opportunity to tell a new Indiana Jones story for a modern gaming audience. Our game is all about putting you in Indy's shoes, letting you see and feel what he sees and feels. For us at Machine Games, we do that best through first person. It's the ideal perspective to bring you into the rich, exciting, and interactive world we've built. We believe that being up close and personal to the adventure is key, making each action feel like your own.
Whether it's cracking
Has there been a first-person Indiana Jones game yet? I don't think so.
Or seeing your knuckles go bloody in a fistfight. All of these moments are much more intense in first person. But we still want you to have those moments. Seeing his iconic silhouette with the hat and the whip, and so for things like cutscenes and environmental traversal, we pull the camera back for a third-person view.
Huh.
Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is set between Raiders of the Lost Ark and The Last Crusade.
Okay.
When our game begins, Indiana is working at Marshall College. He wakes up in the middle of the night to the sounds of a break-in and rushes to confront the thief in the college museum. The mysterious giant of a man makes off with what seems to be a historically insignificant artifact.
Some mysterious giant of a man.
Curiosity.
Who the hell are you?
Following the trail,
Who the hell are you?
Indiana
You're a
heads to the
giant of a
Vatican,
man.
hoping to learn that this particular relic was stolen, and discovers that things aren't what they appear.
He starts pulling at the strings of a mystery, and it all unravels until he has no choice but to see it through to the end, whatever the end may be.
On next plane to Rome.
I mean, who better to make a game about fucking up a bunch of Nazis, right, than Machine Games, you know?
always talk about how clever Indiana Jones is. That had to be one of our guiding principles when we were thinking about the type of game we were making. It wouldn't be indie if he wasn't using his wits to get
That was
through
some good-looking
the situation.
liquid.
The most authentic Indiana Jones experience we can make is the one that makes you think first.
Getting the hang of this.
Sure, there will be some obstacles that will be more easily overcome with the revolver or a gun taken from a disarmed guard. But I think most of the time you'll have more fun, and to be honest, a more genuine indie experience by finding more clever ways to solve a problem.
We always want to be offering more solutions, whether it's trying a different path through the environment to get around enemies, observing enemy patrols and using them to your advantage.
Do you think you'll get a debuff if
or
you lose your
using the
hat?
tools at your disposal, like the whip.
It's an amazing global adventure with action propelling you through your journey.
We have these really diverse environments for you to explore. Indy's journey will take him to the forgotten temples of Sukhothai, the pyramids of Egypt, the snow-peaked Himalayas, and beyond.
We look carefully at each location and the time period the game is set in, and we're trying to make it as authentic and accurate as possible.
We love creating rich, vibrant worlds, and in this game, we also had the goal of making it feel like a true cinematic Indiana Jones adventure.
One of the biggest ways to do that is with the music. John Williams is the original composer for the indie films, and we're really lucky to have found Gordy Hub, a composer who's been able to capture Williams' essence with his score for The Great Circle.
Okay.
We also take a very movie-like approach to things like cinematics. We're very physical with our production style. We use a lot of stunt actors. Things like this help us bridge the gap between making a game and making a movie.
And of course, our characters do a lot to help bring the world to life as well. Next to Indy, Gina is our other main protagonist. Where Indy is pursuing answers just for the sake of curiosity, Gina has a personal stake in getting to the bottom of the core mystery.
Gina is an investigative reporter who has a lot riding on this adventure. She's been tracking a lead for some time, and now she's found an ally in this determined American professor. Their paths are intertwined, and they'll need each other.
A lot of
in
concept
order to
art
get to the
still.
bottom
I wonder if
of
we're
this mystery.
seeing if this is going to be this year.
Okay, then. Let's see if you can keep up.
Fight. What do you mean if I can keep up?
We always love our villains and think we might have found our favorite one yet in Emmerich Voss. He's this intensely psychological man. He's obsessed with the human mind and manipulating it.
He's highly intelligent and the perfect foil for Indy. They're both.
Why? Because Indy is stupid? What are you implying? He's the perfect foil because Indiana Jones is a
Under your
dumbass.
skin like he gets under in the skin. It's captivating.
Dead and forgotten in the sense of Africa.
One of our mottos for Indiana
Man,
Jones
dude
and the
is
Great
sweating.
Circle is adventure first. But in every indie adventure, there are always those moments where he finds himself in the action.
That's been one of those balancing acts for us, and we've ended up with this sort of hybrid experience that mixes melee combat, stealth, and gunplay.
How you approach any given situation is up to you. You may choose to sneak around an enemy patrol, or maybe you'll just pick up a shovel and whack them on the back of their head. And when you can't use your wits, you got Indy's most iconic tool. Just like you see in the movies, one of our goals has been to make the whip as fun and multi-purposed as possible. We want it integrated into every aspect of the game.
Really?
You can use
Okay.
it as a traversal tool to make your way around the environment. You can use it as a distraction. And yes, you can absolutely use it in combat. Everything you'd expect from Indy's whip.
They're trying to
And
rely
hopefully
more
a
on
little bit
lighting here for guiding the player than just like, you
Puzzles are
know,
a key
yellow and white
feature in our
paint
game. The spirit of
that
discovery
their contemporaries
is so
like Tomb Raider
important to
and
Indiana
Uncharted
Jones.
did.
Obviously, there are a handful of puzzles on the main path, but a lot of the puzzles are optional and are just there for the players who want to experience them. Epic traps, small secrets, and hidden puzzles that blend right in with their surroundings.
One thing I love about our game is the level of interactivity that we have. We have this world of mystery where anything could potentially hide a secret. The more you look, the more you'll discover.
gotta be kidding me.
I want to thank you all for joining us for our big reveal of Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Machine Games is known for creating these rollercoaster experiences with huge set pieces, surprising twists, and immersive narratives. It's exciting for us that we have been able to stay so true to the Indiana Jones franchise and create such an authentic experience while still being able to showcase what makes us us. We are making a game for everyone, whether you are very familiar with the franchise or not. Because at the heart
it'll
of
be
Indiana
wild
Jones is an incredible
if this
adventure,
game like is a huge
I
hit.
think that's something everyone wants to be part of.
And like Indiana
I'm
Jones
also
games are what
very
we get
excited
going
to
forward
announce
rather
that
than
Indiana
movies.
Jones and the Great Circle will be coming later this year.
Really?
I cannot wait
Oh.
to share more soon.
Oh! Did you see that? Oh, fucking Todd Howard appeared and took the idol. Shit, okay. They are definitely having like a, look how much fun we're having sort of vibe. Man, really? This year? Okay. Huh. No definite like season or month though. So I think maybe prone to getting delayed out of it. We'll see. Yeah, everything else has either a season or exact date. Yeah, I'll play Indiana Jones. Absolutely. I fucking love Indiana Jones. I love it.
Is it animals, children, and game developers?
Probably won't be something we play on the channel, but I'll play it on my own time.
Our mission here at Ninja Theory is to craft life-changing art with game-changing tech.
Avowed, we will play on the channel, to be clear. Avowed is going on the channel.
Stay happy. Creating an immersive experience like Avowed is anchored in the world we build.
You aren't just playing as indie, you are...
Yeah, I'm super
Indiana
duper
Jones.
impressed with Avowed. I think it looks way better than I was anticipating. Right, I was kind of bracing for the worst after the first little teaser trailer. That was in-game footage, but that looks pretty damn good, I would say. Like, that's a good basis, you know? It'll live or die or be somewhere in the middle based on the writing, you know, the writing and reactivity and all of that. Hopefully it does good. Maybe it'll do so well we get that green light on a Pillars of Eternity 3 with a Baldur's Gate 3 budget, you know? Maybe we get that. I'm not counting on it, but damn, it would be cool. All right, that does it. Developer Direct 2024. Holy cow. Like I said, really did it for Avowed and kind of interested in Indiana Jones, even though we're not playing to play it here. I don't know. Maybe we would. Maybe there is a world in which we do, but I don't think so, right? Probably something I play just for myself. Yeah. Looks good. Very interesting. I heard some people talking about being surprised that Indiana Jones was a first-person game already. I've heard a little bit about that, which, I don't know, like... I don't know. Are you stupid? Come on, it's Machine Games. They've only been making first-person games forever, right? I don't know what we're doing here. If you don't think that Machine Games is gonna make a first-person game, if anything, it's a very interesting challenge to tackle it and separate themselves from, like we said earlier, their contemporaries from the rebooted Tomb Raiders and Uncharted before it, which Uncharted has seemingly wrapped up. Yeah, super interesting. I'm into it. I'm interested to see more. I'm kind of expecting it to be delayed out of this year, honestly, with a vague 2024 as its date, right? I guess if we don't get a specific date in spring, summer, I would really expect it getting pushed to 25, you know, because there was a lot of concept art in there, you know, especially for a showcase like this, right? Like, it really seems like Avowed is definitely coming this year. They were able to show a good amount of that. Either that or it was a really convincing vertical slice, right? But in the case of Indiana Jones, not even that much of a vertical slice, not even like a playthrough of a level, right? But we'll see in spring, summer, whenever they do their faux E3, right? We'll see about that. The other three, History Untold, Visions of Mana, Hellblade 2, all very interesting, right? Hellblade 2 probably going to be a fucking banger, I would guess, but I don't know if I'll play it. I don't know. It's definitely a big missing part of my, what would you call it, video games played background, right? Having not played the first one. It is very well regarded and renowned. I don't know. Something to think about. All right. That'll do it for now for this little brief bonus in real life video where we do a little watch along. Right? Probably more watch-alongs this year to come, I would imagine. All right, until next time, please take care of each other.